Hey, what's up? This is Thomas Tadlock, your rapid fat loss coach here. Okay, in this video blog, I want to share with you step one of the secret to achieving your dream body. Do you have any idea what that is? Let me kind of set this up for you. Those who fail to do this step first never, ever achieve their dream body. That's how important it is. You want to know what it is? Okay. Step number one of achieving your dream body is understanding precisely what your dream body is. So what you have to do is create a three-dimensional picture right here in your mind of exactly what that dream body looks like, what it feels like, and even better, if there's somebody that you know, either personally or someone you've seen on TV, then that's going to make it a little more realistic for you. Now, don't imagine all the obstacles and the barriers involved, because if you do this exercise, what typically happens is you start talking yourself out of it, and you start saying things in your head like, well, I don't think I'll be able to achieve it because I've got this, this, and this going on. I don't think I can achieve it because, you know, I'm not a supermodel, if that's your goal. Okay, so you have to dream big. All right. Now that sounds too simple, doesn't it? Well, let me put it to you this way. Martin Luther King had a dream, and it happened. Neil Armstrong had a dream, and it happened. Okay, these are things that were thought to be absolutely impossible, but they happened because the person who held that dream, they held it right here in their head and in their heart, and they obsessed over it, and they wouldn't stop until it happened. But in order for that to have even worked, they needed to know precisely what it was. And that's what you need to do with your dream body. You need to know precisely what you want to look like and how you want to feel in that body. And in fact, you have to be able to create such a perfect three-dimensional picture of it that you could imagine what it would be like to have that body right now. And not only that, dwell upon it. Now, this is why it works. Because the moment you start to visualize this, and this is based off of research that was done on Olympic athletes when they started to visualize themselves going through and performing their events, their brains started to, over time, rewire themselves neurally so that they actually became better at performing the tasks that they were visualizing. It's so fascinating when they did this first study. The first round of these studies were done on to test the muscle firing of visualizing these Olympic runners during their event, and it just turned out that the muscles seemed to fire in the exact same sequence as they were visualizing compared to the real thing. Now, what happens that's relevant to us, I mean, this, and let's just put aside the quantum physical ramifications of this, but just the practical ones that we can all relate to and understand, is if you focus 100% and you really set out to achieve that perfect dream body, your brain starts to rewire itself. And I'm not even talking about dwelling upon it or even pretending like you're living in that body, but when you really set out for that goal, you have that crystal clear goal, things that used to be obstacles in the past turn out to be less of an obstacle once you have that crystal clear vision. Like, for instance, here's a good example. Some client I was talking to today, I said to them, listen, dream big when it comes to creating this body. And their first reaction was like, well, come on, I have to be realistic, I have to be practical, I have a family, I have a job, you know, I have all these responsibilities in my life, there's no way I'm going to achieve that dream body. I said, well, do you even know what it is? And they looked at me and they said, well, you know, I kind of have a vague idea. I'm like, well, if you wanted to go on a vacation and you just had a vague idea of what you wanted to get out of your vacation or where you wanted to go, would you ever get there anytime soon? The obvious answer is, of course not. You can't. You have to know exactly where you're going in order for you to get there anytime soon. But here's the point that I'm trying to make. Is once you have that crystal clear vision, your brain starts to literally rewire itself, especially the more you dwell and obsess over life in this new body. Okay, imagine what it feels like. Imagine actually doing the things in this body. Imagine going to the store, shopping for clothes, and just looking freaking amazing and feeling that. Okay, the more you do that, the more you start to wire your brain to start to think like that person, like the person who has that body. And so things like cravings, oh, I can't turn down my favorite foods, that's what's going to keep me from my dream body. Well, if you start obsessing enough and you have that crystal clear vision of that dream body, guess what? Your brain starts to rewire itself so that you don't do or have the same compelling knee-jerk reaction to the things that keep you away from that dream body. Does that make sense? You start to actually redevelop your own world so that you move towards that dream body. Okay, it's amazing what intent does, but intent only works when you have a target. And once you have that target, that crystal clear target, then it's almost like you are moving in the carpool lane. You are just funneling right towards it. Things in your life, you start to notice, you start to interpret things through a completely different filter. Now, I know I'm not making sense anymore, but bear with me. You start to interpret and see things through a completely different filter that you did before, that only serves to take you closer to what you want, that dream body. Now, when I say filter, this is what I mean. When you start thinking and acting or pretending like you were living that dream body, think about someone who has that perfect body of yours. Compare that person's habits with yours. Now, if you were absolutely convinced that you were living in that dream body right now, do you think some of your behaviors would start to naturally modify themselves? Wouldn't you agree? It's actually how it works. And not only that, when you think about a person who's living in the dream body that you want, do they seem like they feel that they've given up a lot more than is worth the health and the awesome body that they have? Do you feel that? Because oftentimes I'll get them from clients too, that they feel that they have to give up something to have another. And oftentimes the most successful people can have them both. So, although you can't figure out how to do that right now, you don't have to. Your first task is to create that three-dimensional picture of that dream body, okay? Create it right here. Because once you create it here, then it will start to happen out here. Make sense? Now do it. This is your Rapid Fat Loss Coach, Thomas Tadlock, and I am out.